Good morning, and today is Sunday. It's also Mother's Day. I made breakfast and made myself some coffee and hung out with my mom and wished her happy Mother's Day, so that was good. And we definitely have the rest of the day to just kind of hang out. But while she's like working out, taking a shower, all that stuff, I'm going to be reading, and I am going to start on The Kingdom of Back today. And I'm so excited about this book. This is an ARC, but I'm pretty sure that this book is already out. Yes, okay, so it came out in March, so that was a while ago. But I'm super excited to read this book. I think I'm really going to like it, at least from the way it's been described. But yeah, I made myself a coffee. This time I ended up using my salted caramel syrup and almond milk, and it's delicious. Anyway, we're going to get to reading The Kingdom of Back. I hope I like it. I will let you guys know once I actually start getting into it. Okay, so I am about almost 30 pages into this book so far. Sorry about my messy hair. I was kind of lying down right here to read my book, but I'm about 30 pages into it, and oh my gosh, this book was seriously written for me. This is exactly what I was looking for when I asked for like a lush fantasy. This is technically historical fantasy, which I love just as much as regular fantasy and regular historical fiction, but it combines two of my favorite genres, and it's amazing. I literally love this book, and the best part is that I get to listen to Mozart's music while I read this book. It's just so fitting, and it's so beautifully written. Oh my gosh. I don't know why Marie Lu just never misses. She never misses for me. Every time I read one of her books, I'm like, this is perfect. I don't know why I don't read more of her books. I do need to finish that one trilogy, The Young Elites. I am on the last book and I have never finished it. I need to finish it, and I am definitely getting sucked into the world, and it's very different than I expected it to be. And I love when books start off when like the main character or like the main characters are children. It definitely reminds me of Andy Darkin, which I love that aspect of that book. So yeah. And for some reason I also love when the main character, who's a girl, is the eldest. Like she has a younger brother or a younger sibling. That's just like me. I'm the eldest daughter, and I'm also the eldest sibling in my family. So I don't know, I think it just like resonates with me. But I'm really loving it. It's so good. As you can see, I am listening to Mozart while I read. Here's the book. I'm loving it. It's so good. Hey guys, so it is the next day. I am getting back into reading The Kingdom of Back. I am at the same exact place where I left off. I didn't really do much reading today, unfortunately, but it's only 8:48, so I guess it is a bit later at night, but I don't have anything to do. My semester is over. I currently do not have a job, so I don't have much to do besides read. So let's get back into reading this book, and I also have less than a pint of coffee ice cream left, so we're gonna eat that as well. Also, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for your really positive feedback on my last couple of reading vlogs, because that means a lot to me. I feel like most of my reading vlogs get like the least amount of views, which is really sad because I love reading vlogs and I love making them. I think it's so much fun to read a book with you guys and just like share my thoughts. Thank you guys so much for showing my vlogs so much love recently. I feel it's really good. It's really good. And I did mention on Twitter that I wanted to do more booktuber shout outs. So that might be something that happens in the future. I might film it from where I usually film on my desk. I really like that background, and I've gotten some good feedback on it, so I think that might be something that happens. Anyway, super excited to get back into this book. I'm really loving it so far. Like I said, I mean, there's not much to say because I'm only just about 30 pages into the book, so I have a lot more to go. But I really love the main character. Nannerl is such a great main character to follow. She feels a lot like a perfectionist and someone who really knows what she wants, and someone who might be a little skeptical of like anything having to do with magic. I feel like part of her wants to believe in magic, then the other part is like that's not real, it's all fairy tales, but I'm really excited to see where her character goes. And it's really interesting to see her dynamic with her younger brother. And I'm pretty sure they have almost the same amount of years between them that I do with my brother. I have 2 younger brothers, but my first youngest brother, I guess, does that make any sense? He's 5 years younger than me. And then I have my second youngest brother, and he's 9 years younger than me. So I think they have about a 4 or 5 year age difference, which is like, I can relate. So anyway, I'm gonna get back to reading. I'm gonna eat my ice cream. We're gonna put on some Mozart, and then I will see how it goes, and I will update you guys later. Okay, so I'm just gonna give a super quick update. Sorry for my hair looking absolutely crazy, but I am about 40% of the way through The Kingdom of Back. I'm loving it. It's amazing, literally so beautiful, so inventive, so immersive. I said this on my Instagram, I'm gonna say it again. It's amazing. I am in love with this book. It's exactly what I was looking for, exactly what I've always asked for in like a lush fantasy. And if you read this, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. The writing is gorgeous. It is amazing. It's just like the perfect amount of flowery without being like overkill. And I really love the historical slash fantasy setting. I think that they both really complement each other. Sometimes I feel like in historical fantasies, it can be a little too much of one or the other. This one I feel like is very balanced, and I really like it. I'm really loving the sibling relationship between Nanurl and Wolfurl. I really don't know how to say his nickname. I'm just gonna call him Wolfgang because that's his name, but I love them. They're like the cutest siblings, and they're both so amazingly talented, and they love music. So I think that this is like the perfect storm of a book, because I have said I love music books. I love books that are centered around music, and I love historical fiction. I love fantasy. So it's like a perfect storm of everything I love about reading, and it's amazing. Hey guys, so I got something fun in the mail. I ordered off of Society 6. I've never done that before. I've actually never even really looked on Society 6 before, but I really wanted to get some really small prints to kind of like fill in a little bit of the blanks on my wall. So I picked out a couple, and they came, and they're super cute. So I'll just go through them super fast. The first one I have right here is this Van Gogh print. It's this, so pretty. I think that'll be super cute on my wall. And then of course, since I like Harry Styles, I got a little Harry Styles one as well. And this one I thought was super pretty. Then I found this one that's like a little cute print of a map of Paris. Then this one of the beach, super cute. This one that just says daydreaming. And then this one, the Birth of Venus, which I think is super cute as well. And they're all super, super small. As you can see, they're just really cute. So I figured they'd look really nice places on my wall. Anyway, I also made myself another coffee. And yeah, that's about it. I'm also wearing my new shirt that I got from Target. I feel like I want to do like a little fashion video at some point, but I don't really know if I have like enough cute outfits to do it. Like maybe I could just do a lounging at home fashion video, because I do have a lot more lounge clothes now. Not really lounge clothes, just very super casual clothes. Like this, I think this is from Universal Thread, and it's this really boxy, oversized, just almost crop top, but not quite crop top. It's like in the middle of a regular shirt and a crop top, and it's really cute and super comfy, and I really like the color on me as well. So I am currently a little more than halfway through The Kingdom of Back. I think I'm almost close to 200 pages. I love it. It's amazing. It's beautiful. Oh my gosh, like literally. I really don't know how to describe why I love it so much. I feel like it's mainly because it is like historical, and it's about something I don't really know a lot about, honestly. So I can't really say if this is like historically accurate besides all the magic stuff. But I honestly don't know a lot about Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart and then Nannerl, his sister. Like, I really don't know a lot about them, but it's such an interesting book and it's so well written. It's just going by so fast and I'm not ready for it to be over. I feel like I want this book to last like at least 100 more pages than it already is. I feel like 300 pages is super short. Well, it's about like 320, so still a super short historical fantasy book, but it's really packing a lot of stuff in there. It's kind of funny though, because the book focuses so much more on them as like children and like preteens and stuff like that, and that definitely wasn't something that I was expecting. Also, it's really cool because periods are mentioned in this book, and I feel like periods aren't necessarily something that gets mentioned a lot in books, at least not books that I've read, so I think that's a really good tidbit as well. So I'm really liking it. I think it's great. It's going by really, really fast. I feel like I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna do my bed. I'm gonna make it because it's a mess right now, and then I'm just gonna go right into reading the rest of the book because I'm ready to see what happens, and then I'm gonna move on to a different book. I don't know if I'm gonna start with a book that I'm already in the middle of or if I'm gonna start a new book. I really don't know. I'm in the middle of 2 books right now, Defy the Stars and also The Stars We Steal. So both sci-fi books, very light sci-fi, and I definitely need to get through both of them. But I think other than that, those are the only 2 books that I'm truly in the middle of. I have a couple of books on my currently reading list on Goodreads, but I'm not technically currently reading those. Like, most of them are books that I'm kind of putting off until a later date because I just don't feel like I'm ready to get back into them right now, so I'm kind of just pushing them and pushing them further back. But maybe we'll try to read more of The Stars We Steal. I feel like I'm in the mood for that one. Okay, this has kind of been a long clip, so I'm going to leave you guys for now, and I'm gonna go make my bed, and I'm going to go read some more, and I will update you guys soon. So I got something super fun in the mail today, and that is this book, You're Not Special by Megan Ranks. She's one of my favorite YouTubers like ever since I was in high school. I think I was about maybe a junior when I found her channel, and ever since then I've loved her channel. So it's been almost 10 years, I want to say. I probably found her channel towards the end of junior year, so it was probably around when I was 17, so that's been about 8 years, and I love her channel so much. I love her as a person, and look at on the back cover, there she is, so cute. So I've been highly anticipating this book, and I'm so glad it's finally out and I'm holding it and I get to read it. So this is kind of being inserted into my TBR mainly because it's just like I have to read it. So we're gonna read it. It's gonna be exciting, and I hope that I can take you guys on this journey of reading it. It is just something I'm so excited to read about, and I love her, and knowing more about her life will be really, really interesting. Other than that, I'm almost done with The Kingdom of Back. I'm really loving it. I'm going to finish it literally right now after I start editing pictures that I took of this book. So we're going to do that first, and then we're going to finish The Kingdom of Back. Also, my room's clean. I did my laundry last night. I cleaned the kitchen last night. So I'm pretty on track with everything else. I don't really have anything else to do. So we're just gonna edit this picture and then read the rest of The Kingdom of Back. Hey guys, so just to do a little update for the vlog, I finished The Kingdom of Back last night. I loved it so much. I cried. It was really the author's note that did it for me. I don't know why, but in any historical book, whether it's historical fantasy or more realistic historical fiction, I get so emotional over the author's notes. I don't know why, it just happens. I think part of it is that it's just really nice to see authors who are appreciative of history and stuff like that and kind of want to tell these untold stories. I loved this book. I thought it was so great. However, I do want to say that I don't think that everyone will enjoy it. And here's why. Mainly because I feel like the writing style is a little flowery. I know that a lot of people don't like that. I personally really like it, and it's part of why I also love Shatter Me. So I feel like, you know, if you didn't like Shatter Me's writing, this isn't as far, but it's in the same kind of like style. Another reason is that the romance is basically non-existent. There is a romantic interest, but they are rarely mentioned, and it's like the tiniest of subplots, the tiniest. I would actually classify this book as not having any romance because it's just really not even a part of the plot. She has like 1 or 2 encounters with this romantic interest, and that's about it. And it did feel like it was kind of setting up to try to be a love triangle, but because the romance was so just not even underdeveloped, just it wasn't even there, it didn't really work as a love triangle, so I wouldn't even classify it as that. This book is basically about 2 things. The first thing is it's about Nanurl, the main character, and her desire to be known and to be remembered for her music. And the second part of that is about Nanurl and her younger brother, kind of their relationship together and how his success has kind of overshadowed her success and how that affects her. It's so much more about family dynamics and about finding yourself and finding your voice rather than anything like romance or anything else. So if you are really looking for books that center romance, or at least have like a romance that's necessary to the plot, this isn't going to be a book for you. For me, it kind of just depends on the kind of story that's being told, whether I like romance or whether I just don't need it in a book. I don't feel like it's super necessary, but I know that a lot of people are kind of just like, I'm not going to read a book if it doesn't have romance, which I think is super valid, and I totally get where they're coming from, because I feel like romance can make books a lot more interesting. But for me, I just didn't really feel like I needed a romantic plot in this book, so I really ended up loving it. It's a great book if you're looking for something that deals with music, that is historical fantasy, that has a really beautifully done sort of imaginative fantasy world. And I don't know, I just can't say enough nice things about it. I did give it a 5 out of 5 stars. So if you're looking for something that doesn't have a lot of romance but does have a lot of really interesting sort of historical aspects and fantasy aspects, then you're gonna like this book. Okay, so I also started You're Not Special by Megan Ranks, and I am currently 40 pages into it. I just started it today. I'm really loving it. I love her voice in this book. She's so funny, and it's clearly written by her. It's just so much of this is Megan, and if you watch her videos, if you listen to her podcast, you'll know that this is like 100% Megan. And it's just so interesting to kind of see deeper into her life, how she grew up, what her parents were like, what her friends were like, what her school was like. And I don't know, I just find it super intriguing. I've always loved Megan's videos ever since I was like a junior/senior in high school, so that was like 7 years ago, maybe a little more than that, but I've loved Megan for so long, and I'm so excited to get to finish this book. I'm really loving it. It's such a fast and easy book to get through, so I'm hoping that maybe I'll get done with it by tomorrow so I can move on to some more books in my TBR. I really want to kind of speed it up for the rest of the month. We're about halfway through, a little over halfway through, and I don't know, I want to get done with more of my TBR. I don't want to keep all of my TBR right here, and I want to kind of cycle in some newer books, so I'm hoping I can get done with, you know, at least a handful of these books. Hey guys, so I am currently reading Wither by Lauren DeStefano, and I haven't read this book since I was a senior in high school, I want to say, so that was back in like 2013. And sorry if there's a lot of noise outside, there is a lot of yard work, so that's what's going on. And I'm reading this. I am currently 85 pages into it, and I've been reading it today, and it's just so good. It's so nice to come back to this book, and it's kind of one of my comfort reads. I haven't really read it in a long time, but it's just so nice to kind of come back and be reintroduced to these characters and reintroduced to this world. It's definitely different than I remember it being for some reason. I remember reading this book and crying for most of it. Maybe I was just in a mood when I was reading these books or something, but I remember these books hitting me so hard emotionally. So I was kind of interested in coming back to them and seeing how I felt now. I only own this book, so I don't own the second or third books. But so far, so good. I'm really liking this book. I love Rhine so much. She's one of my favorite main characters ever. And this world is like really dark, and it's kind of like a YA version of The Handmaid's Tale, but I really don't like The Handmaid's Tale. I've never read the book, but I have seen the show and I really didn't like it. It was interesting up until like a certain point, and then I just stopped being interested in it. It was really boring. And so this one never lost my interest. And I remember after I finished the last book, I literally cried nonstop for like 3 months. So we're gonna see how I feel after I read at least this book. I don't know if I'll finish the series, but I just kind of wanted to go back into some older books to kind of like reignite my love of reading. Okay, so little update. I am currently 175 pages done with this book, Wither. That's about halfway through, and I'm coming towards a struggle again, the same struggle that I had when I first read this book. So basically, if you didn't know what this book was about, it's about this girl named Ryan, and she and her twin are living in a dystopian New York, and basically all of the girls die at 20 and all the boys die at 25, and this is because some like scientific mutation where all disease has been eradicated, but that means that everyone dies super young. So basically, like I said, it's like a Handmaid's Tale, kind of different because like in the Handmaid's Tale there's the guy and then his like main wife, and they don't have sex, and then he has another wife where he like gets to kind of try to make a baby, whatever. This one is basically where like the guys who are like super rich have multiple wives, and it's like that sort of deal. And so the whole thing is that like Ryan, she hates the guy that's her husband, and like she thinks that he knows all like the shitty things that are going on, and like all the other girls that like were killed because they didn't like live up to the standards of like what he wanted. That's what she believes is what's happening. But of course, like Lyndon, the husband, he is written so sweet and so like mild-mannered. It kind of makes you start to sympathize with him, and that's like the total thing that I'm having trouble with again. I remember the first time I read this book, I also had trouble like wanting to sympathize with Lyndon, and then like being like, no, you know, Ryan hates him, and so does Jenna, and Jenna is one of the other wives. It's definitely a really conflicting book. So yeah, I'm halfway through. I'm loving it. Like I said, very conflicting emotions. And if I can remember, I will link down below a link to this playlist that I made when I was in high school for this series. And it's really good. All the songs are amazing. It's a lot of like Bridget Mendler, Snow Patrol, Taylor Swift, the Oh Hellos, and Florence and the Machine. So if you like any of those people, you might like this playlist. And if you're wanting to read this series, I recommend listening to this playlist while you do it. So I'm just going to go back to reading, and I'm gonna eat the rest of my sandwich, and yeah. Okay, so it's now currently 11:35. Fell focus. You can see I'm also listening to the new Hunger Games book. So I just wanted to kind of check in and close out this vlog. So I finished Wither by Lauren De Stefano, and I loved it. 5 out of 5 stars again. The last time I read this book was in November of 2012, so it's been about 8 years almost, like 7.5. And I love it so much. I love it just as much as I did back in high school. And I totally recommend this book. I feel like even if you read it now for the first time, you're still going to really like it. I don't really have a lot to say about this book that wouldn't be a spoiler. I feel like I have so many spoilery thoughts, and I want to talk about all of them, but I really can't. I just really love the character relationships in this book. I feel like, you know, most of these characters didn't know each other at the beginning of the book, and by the end they all have these really rich and deep relationships with each other. And you know, when bad things happen, it's just, it hurts 10 times more. So yeah, I guess like that's the one thing I need to like warn you guys about, is that I cried so much reading this book. I mean, I cried a lot while I read it the first time, but for some reason the second time just like hit me even deeper than the first time. I don't know why, but I really loved it. And there's definitely a lot of like darker themes than you would expect. I do have to say though, it's not as dark as I remember it being for some reason. Like when I was younger, it was so much more harrowing to me. And rereading it now, it's a little tame. Like not tame in a bad way, but just like less harrowing than I thought it was back when I was like 17. But yeah, this is a book about like teenage brides, and thankfully, unlike The Handmaid's Tale, there isn't any rape, so that's something that I think is better about this book. There's definitely, you know, everything that happens is consensual, so I think that's really important. But yeah, otherwise I don't feel like there's a lot of stuff to like warn you guys about this book. It does get really sad. There is death in this book, so just like keep a heads up for that if you do want to read this book. And other than that, I really loved it, and I don't know, I want to read the rest of the series so bad. I can't really remember what happens in Sever and Fever. I remember parts of them, but I don't remember like every single thing that happens. So I think I'm definitely going to try to at least get the audiobooks for Sever and Fever, and we'll see if I can get to those. For some reason, audiobooks have just like not been working out for me lately. I feel like I really lost my like groove with reading audiobooks super fast. Like typically I'm at a 2x speed, but right now I'm listening to the Hunger Games book at like a 1.25 or something like that, and that's super slow. And I just like, my brain is just not processing the words as fast as normal. So I'm gonna try to work back up to like a 2x speed, because it does like get books done faster, and I just like it better than having to listen to someone speak super slowly. But other than that, I'm going to end this vlog, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will start up a new vlog super soon, and I'm hopefully going to get back into like filming some real videos rather than just vlogs, because as much as I love vlogs, I really have a lot of like actual video ideas that I want to get out, and hopefully I'll be able to get up the energy for that. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog, and if you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also go ahead and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Goodreads, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!
Ooh, I thought it'd be me and you. Oh.